right, everybody, welcome to the Bullseye channel. I have been having trouble finding time to put videos up, and so I figured one thing I could get in the habit of doing is to just, have a nice little Bullseye conversation here with all of you, hopefully, while I am on my way to the office. So we're going to title this one, what are you doing in 2024? And then we're going to do a 2023 recap. We're going to talk a little bit about the world of Bullseye, kind of fill you in on where I'm at, and then we'll talk about 2024. And this is your opportunity, and apologize if I'm avoiding eye contact. I'm also navigating the roadway. It's your opportunity to tell me, what are you doing in 2024? What are your, ambitions, I guess. We are careful to use the word goal, right? Because it can turn into this big monster that can affect your performance. But, we do talk about ambition. Ambition is a good thing, of the laudable kind, I might add, as John Adams once said. Okay, so let's talk about 2023. So I didn't do a Perry recap, and my memory is to an extent failing me, but I remember being caught in the rain during the P100 and the NTI. I remember feeling pretty confident with the score that I put up. My team just barely lost out for a little bit of the hardware. So congratulations to our Army brethren who got it done. Because at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. You got to get it done. All right, finished up a little bit of my last pre-workout. For me in 2023, I would say, just personally, professionally, and Bullseye, what a tremendous year. And I don't think it's a coincidence that there was sort of an improvement in my performance in Bullseye as I chose in early of last year, sort of like spring of last year, to shut down Target Pistol Guy and put it back up here. I'm toying with ways to still build this Bullseye community on YouTube with your support and assistance, but at the same time manage my own time and health and performance. It was just, at the end of the day, for me, it was a decision about focus and priorities. And I noticed and observed myself in the process of shooting a Bullseye match or even practice, just thinking about videos and how I would cut the video and what I would do with the video, and that alone affected my shot performance. There is another trick, though, that I cannot stress more highly, that I think was ultimately the reason why my scores were higher in 2023. And so if you're up for taking tips and tricks or whatever, then please take this one with you. So I have talked about the importance of journaling, and I'd like to do another video on journaling, because it's that important. There's one dirty secret of journaling, which is journaling is just not an input, it is an output, right? You not only have to write in your journal consistently, you're writing information, you're writing affirmations, you're writing a log, but it is also, it's an output. You have to read what you've written. If you just throw it in a box and you're like, good, I journaled, right? Like, whew, got that, check that box. Like, that's not the purpose of journaling. The magic of journaling isn't so much the putting it in there, even though we were all taught in school, once you write something down, you remember it. Like, that's not true. You have to read it again. How many times have you read something that you've written previously and you're like, hey, I managed to put some pretty good sentences together there. I had some coherent thoughts. Like, I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. Maybe it's just me. So that's the secret to journaling, was reading my journal prior to every practice session or shooting session. Not the whole thing, right? Because we're talking about like 90 pages of journaling, but just like certainly the last couple sessions, because you're going to read those lessons and you're like, okay, yeah. And I've applied this to other areas of my life as well. certainly like in the gym, you know, trying to get better at strength training, I would have an aha in the gym, write it down, read it the next time, and then I didn't have to relearn that, right? There's that old adage that, like, you know, a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a smarter person learns from the mistakes of others. Well, you got to be a pretty dumb person to not learn from your own mistakes, right? You know, that's like, you know, not calling myself dumb because that's not very positive, but, you know, that's the way it goes. So, yeah, so 2023 was good. The other tip that I would give in 2023 that I thought was, I made very careful annotations, and so I shoot iron sights. And so this is mostly for like EIC shooters. I made very careful annotations about where my front sight hold needed to be at both the 50 and the 25-yard line. And it was pretty consistent. And so for me, it's written kind of weird. It's either a tight six, natural sub 6, or a deep sub 6, you know, and you can argue whether that's, some of those are the same thing, but to me, I notice a difference, and I place them differently. And I don't think it was that, yeah, I was consistent with where I was putting the front sight, although that certainly must have happened. It caused me to pay attention to every single shot. Every shot was observed and existed. Like, so if we're talking about a rapid string, usually that's where people, you know, flub it up. Every shot existed in its own little universe. I used to view rapid and time strings as just a one end. It was a five, basically it was like a machine gun. And like, they were either going to be in the middle or like not so much in the middle. And the more I viewed them as 5 distinct, essentially just like aggressively timed slow fire shots, I started putting them in the center, and I started getting 10s and X's and not 9s and 7s or worse. You know, the occasional 5 and 6, you know, still showed up every once in a while, though not in competition, which is good. So that was, if I'm to offer, you know, I had some success, not like great super success. Obviously, I already shared that one of the things that I really am proud of is that I got a revolver distinguished before the end of the year and before I finished that first journal. That was a big deal to me. It is kind of funny to me that the newest EIC badge was the one I got first, and I've been toiling away at, you know, some of my other EIC projects for quite some time. But it's also reminded me of something, which is I got the EIC badge that I had the most fun with, right? The one that I found the most enjoyable and the most fun was the one that I got first. You know, not that I don't like service pistol, but, you know, it had become its own wrestling match in some respect. So that's exciting. And so I hope that you are working on a distinguished badge, like you're having that goal. The team did well at Camp Perry. I earned, you know, I am just one leg, basically any denomination of 22 EIC points will get me my 22 distinguished. You know, I'm sort of in this, because I'm in the Marine Corps, I'm in this sort of service pistol purgatory where I can't achieve distinguished until I'm either out of the Marine Corps, in which case I will automatically get distinguished service pistol, or I have to succeed in Marine Corps matches, which are all action-based at this point. So you might see a lot of action here, you know, as I make a push for that, if I make a push for that. So let's talk 2024, and this is question time. It's question time for you. And so hit it up in the comments. What direction, what emphasis are you taking your shooting in 2024? You know, if you're comfortable having goals, like what are your goals? What are your ambitions in 2024? What do you want to have happen? You know, for me, I think this is going to be the year that I finally achieve, you know, on the ambition of 22 EIC. The math is there. I shot 22 EIC the other day, and I was doing really well. Like, they were in the middle of the X, you know, on time to rapid fire. I'm kind of stuck indoors shooting. Not really, I'm not stuck indoors, but I'm indoors shooting right now. Air pistol, I managed to get my first air pistol EIC points, and that is also a newer badge. And I want to plug away at that one. I managed to get out with my family to Winter Air Gun and Olympic selections out in Colorado Springs, and just had a fantastic time shooting with some great people. I know Java Duke was out there, so it was nice to see you, brother. I'm gonna make a push I'm gonna try, as my travel schedule allows for my vocational job is pretty aggressive this year, but I'm going to attempt to knock out 22 EIC early, and that might involve some travel matches. So if I can squeak in just for maybe even a day to Phoenix, I'll make it out there and see if I can take home some points and enjoy the warm weather. If not, probably some of the CMP, like spring games. I'm trying to find matches that have available legs, because that's the ones those are the ones where you stand the best chance. That being said, I feel confident today that relative to the competitors that I know that aren't distinguished, I could shoot a match. And if there was only one leg point, I feel like I would pull it, because I'm shooting well. I would be curious, and this is another question you can add below, like, what is your training looking like for this year? I am constrained by other commitments, as we all are, and I'm really only afforded 2 real training days, 3 total days, but I devote 1 day to fun shooting, because it's fun is something that we need to introduce into our lives. It just doesn't happen. Life isn't just drudgery. And so for me, sometimes that's blasting away with, the Glock that I just got, like a compensated Glock. Sometimes it's practicing, with my SIGs, because it's my service pistol. Sometimes it's PCC. Like, it doesn't matter. It's fun. Shooting is fun. It should be fun. It shouldn't be drudgery. But those 2 training days, some might say that's not enough, but it's what I got, and I got to make use of it. Right now, it's 22 EIC, and then either some air pistol, or I'm dry firing 22 EIC. And that's just the life that I have right now, and that's what I can afford. I do believe that combination, and this is really, I think this would apply to anybody. There aren't a lot of people that you compete against that are practicing 2 times a week. When I'm talking real practice, it's journaled. Your journal is read. You're really getting in there. Excuse me. I don't think there's a lot of people doing that. And so if you haven't, you can get a leg up on the competition, right? Champions are made in the off season. Distinguished badges are made in the off season. Go out there and do that. The last thing that I'll leave you with, and I do really want to hear how you guys are doing, and what your Bullseye ambitions are for the year, was something that Ryan Frank said to me on the line. And maybe it wasn't on the line, maybe it was just when we were shooting the shit in line for check-in. But he said, like, wouldn't it be great if you could have a coach with you while you're shooting competitions on the line? And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome, right? And he's like, well, you can. You just need to act as though you're a coach. You're your own coach. You're observing your shooting dispassionately. You're paying attention to it. You're offering up. I'm adding this all in, but you're offering up, positive words of encouragement, meaningful corrections, and you're being a good steward of your own shooting. It also causes you to, again, pay attention to your own shooting. So I'd offer that up as you train, right? I've added that into my shot process. So after follow through and shot calling, I do what I call self-coaching, and I say, all right, good, that was good, do that again, or hey, I think you need to hold a little bit, don't rush your first shot, something like that. So that's what I'll give you. 14 minutes, getting ready to roll into the office. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Get out there, train. Let me know what your ambitions are. Let me know what your training looks like. And let me know if you like this video format. And if this is something you'd be interested in, maybe like once a week. I can tell you how I'm training. You can tell me how you're training. And together we'll all get better. So that's it. Hold hard, shoot straight. 3 rules for life. Don't be a jerk. Take care of yourself and help other people. And as always, know that you don't know what's going on in somebody else's mind. They don't know what's going on in your mind. And so be kind and courteous when dealing with other people. Blessings, and I'll talk to you maybe next week.